Today I'm going to teach you about scenes. We're going to create a simple scene. We're in scene 1, and I'm going to label it scene 1. I'm going to use the scene toolbar, which is called up by using Shift F2. I already have mine open. You can also get to it from Window, Other Panels, and bring up your scene that way. I have my scene, and I'm going to add a layer here. This will be the text layer that says it's scene 1. Then I'm going to have an actions layer, and in the actions layer I'm going to add a very simple action script of stop with an open and closing parentheses and a semicolon. Adding that will make it stop and not move on to the next scene when I create it. I can create a new scene by hitting this button, Add Scene, or I can duplicate my scene, which will copy both my text and my programming code. I'm going to do that several times. I'm going to rename each scene by double-clicking on it and typing in a new name. I prefer to use names with no capitals and no spaces because if you program them, it's easier that way. So I'm going to name these sequentially, scene 1 through scene 5, though it's often a better idea to have more meaningful names, describing simply the scene that you're in. Introduction, scene 1, scene 2 is okay, but if you have like a scene in the park or a scene in a bedroom, you would call it bedroom, park, something that's meaningful, because if you come back to work on this months or years later, knowing what each scene is will help you to quickly get to where you want to go. In this case, though, I simply want scenes that will say scene 1 through scene 5 so that numbering is appropriate. I can keep it available to me by parking it here, and I'll be able to get back to it if I want to. To change from scene to scene, I can click and change which scene I'm in. You'll see which scene the current one is in the upper left-hand corner. Scene 1 I will leave as scene 1. Scene 2, you'll see it's there. I'm going to change to 2. I'll change scene 3 to 3. I want these appropriately labeled so you'll know which scene that we are on when we're viewing them. I'm going to change this to 4, and then my final scene is scene 5, which I will change right here. If I want to test this quickly, I can just flip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now because I have a stop statement in here, this isn't going to flip from scene to scene. It will just go to the first scene and stop there on the first frame of the first scene. To move from one scene to another, you'll hit Enter. That will release you to go on to the next frame that would be played, which in this case will be a whole new scene. I'm going to have some problems with this though, and I want to allow the errors to occur so you can see how to fix them. There are 2 errors you're going to get. When I hit Command Enter, it's going to tell me that I need to download my content before the first frame will play. So I can do that. I'm also getting another that says fonts should be embedded for any text that may be edited at runtime. So I'm going to go ahead and embed my fonts, so I don't really need to do that here. I want to show you how, because I'm not allowing them to be edited at runtime, but it's set as editable. If I set it as read only, let's see if we still get that error. Still getting the same error. Okay. That's because it's still editable in the other scenes. If I wanted to embed my fonts, I could simply choose Embed. I could give it a name, but I'll just leave it as Font 1 and hit OK. That should get rid of the error down here. I'll hit Command Enter. This error is gone, but we still have to get the runtime shared library preloading to change that error. To change that setting, you'll have to go into File, Publish Settings, Flash, ActionScript 3 settings, library path, and the default linkage, which currently is a runtime shared library. We want to merge it into the code so that everything loads together. We're going to hit OK, and we're going to hit Command Enter again. Now I have no error messages. I'm stopped on scene 1. If I hit Enter, it will take me to scene 2, scene 3, scene 4, scene 5, and it's changing each time I hit the Enter key. The way that scenes work, the name and number mean nothing. I can change my order here. So it'll go in the order of 5, 2, 3, 1, 4. Test it. 5, enter, 2, enter, 3, enter, 1, enter, 4. And we're back to 5. When you get to the last scene, if you were to continue looping, you'd go back up to the first scene. And again, it is the order that the scenes appear in that they're listed here that will determine the order that they play. And that's how you use scenes in Flash.